Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. Support American-made tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
If you're a lineman in charge of keeping the lights on, Grainger understands that you go to great lengths and sometimes heights to ensure the power is always flowing, which is why you can count on Grainger for professional-grade products and next-day delivery, so you have everything you need to get the job done. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of Creatives to Creatives Today. Today, we have a special guest.
Hello, my name is Sydney B.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Definitely. I'm happy to have you. So I love asking every guest on the show. I love to go back to the beginning. Like I always say, our habits, the things that we pick up, kind of follow us as we get older. So tell me a little bit about your childhood and kind of how did you find your way into music?
Yeah, so for a lot of my childhood, I did a lot of sports. Because I come from more of like a sports-centered family. There's not really a bunch of music in my family at all. So I tried like sport after sport after sport. And the main one that I liked was softball. And so that's the one I kind of stuck with, but I still didn't have like that like passion or like drive. Like I was one of those kids that always like I liked playing in games, but I complained about going to practice all the time. Um, and so when I was 9 years old, I joined the chorus at my school and I loved it. I love singing. I love learning how to do it. And so I would say that that's where my music journey probably started, was in my fourth grade choir.
Nice choir. I love that. I love that. So, were your parents pretty like, supportive of the music journey for yourself? Like, I mean, my parents were like, when I told them at a young age, like, I'm gonna go to California and be a filmmaker. They were like, okay, sure. So how were your parents? Super supportive?
They were super supportive,
That's
which
good.
I'm so thankful for.
Yeah.
They've definitely helped me like throughout each stage of music because I do a lot of different types of music, and so they've definitely helped me and supported me through all of it. So
I love that. I love that. So you're 17. That's amazing. And I listened to your song and I loved it. You have a beautiful voice. I was like, whoa. Wow. Um, so who's some of your like musical inspirations? As far as like, people that you look up to and you're like, you know what, I like that. And I kind of like I like that when I kind of follow that.
So definitely one of those people for me is I think Megan Trainor, just because she's so positive all the time, and that's like one of my main goals is to like spread positivity. And I love that her music, like pretty much every single song that she has out, kind of spreads like positivity and happiness. And so that's kind of like what I want to do too. So I really love her stuff.
Oh yeah, she's great. I love Megan Trainor. She's awesome. I actually when I listened to them when was listening to the song, I really love the title, by the way, too. Beautiful. And I'm just curious of like the process of making that and like what inspired you to make that song and yeah, the process of making, the new track. Beautiful.
So at that point, I was still super new to songmaking, so my producers helped me out a lot with that
Yeah.
process. So I remember my producer asking me like, because he does this a lot, he's always like, "What do you want to sing about today?" And I was like, "Oh, I have no idea." And so I sat there and I kind of thought about it for a while, like, what is a message that I want to put out? And then that's kind of how like beautiful formed because I told him I was like, I want to put out something positive and I want to put out something that tells people that they're beautiful in whatever way that that is. Because when they find that inner positivity and that inner beauty and all of those things that are super important, it can help lead them to like their life calling and their passions and all of those things. And it will overall hopefully make the world a more positive place. And that's my end goal. So that was kind of like the thought process behind the lyrics and kind of like even the beat itself. It's a very like motivational sounding
It
beat. And that
is.
was kind of like what I wanted to portray. So
Yeah, I really loved it, and I think it's a great time. We need music like this, more positive music. I mean, I'm not saying that, because when I listen to music now, i- the mainstream music, you hear very like negative and like just very like just it doesn't it's not talking about self-esteem, positivity. So it's good to hear this kind of music because we need it, in this world that we live in. It's a lot going on in the world. So it's a great time for this. So thank you for making positive music.
yeah, of course. And it's definitely it's I also thought about like what would I want to hear if I were somebody, well, I do listen to music. So what do I want to hear when I listen to music? And that was another thing that kind of led me down that track.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that. I love, so I mean, because I really I think it's so awesome to hear a young person talking about, music in this way. So and because you hear like a lot of the mainstream and just music period today, it's just like no one's really talking about that. So it's really good that, that you have that kind of mindset to stay on that trajectory. So kudos to you. That's really good and inspiring.
Thank
Um,
you.
yeah, definitely. I love asking this question, and there's no wrong answer, but the three levels of influence: money, power, or respect. And if you could choose only one of those things, which one would you choose and why?
I would definitely say respect. I think because respect can lead to a lot of those other things. And when people respect you, that also means that you put out respect. And that's one of the things that I try to do all the time is I try to be a respectful and kind person to everyone that I meet. And so I hope that what I give out is also what I get back. I know it's not always, but that's like kind of what I hope for. And then through that, I can find other outlets and other people and other things that can help me towards whatever my goals might be, meeting great people along the way. So definitely respect.
That's a great answer. Really good answer. Um, it's a fun question. I love asking this one. If you could be managed by any artist, living or dead, who would it be and why?
I gotta think about that
That's a hard one, huh? It's tough.
one. Let me think through my people that I think definitely one. I think I'm gonna have to go back to Megan Trainor. I love her so much and I
Yeah.
love her energy and I think we would have fun. So
Oh, definitely. 100%. 100%. I love that. You mentioned that your producers, help and put you, help you get you to the place where in the song where it needs to be. Um, I mean, how did the conversation, like as far as like the direction of your music, like are you very much like involved? Like, do you say, okay, this is what I'm feeling? Like if they have an idea, are you very open to like, hey, I have an idea too? And or you're more like whatever, you know, you just
yeah,
trust.
so I definitely do a little bit of both. I think it definitely
Awesome.
depends upon the song and honestly like the day. Sometimes because I'm so new to the industry and everything, like I definitely trust what they say because they've been in it for so long and they kind of know what people want to listen to. So I love hearing their ideas. And I like that they also like hearing my ideas because as somebody who comes in that's new and kind of has like a fresh mind and something different to share, I like that they hear a lot of my input, and especially because like the songs are under my name, I definitely want them to represent what I represent. So it's definitely a little bit of both.
I love that. No, I love that. It's good. Yeah, I work with a, I'm very much, as a filmmaker, I'm very much like involved, heavily involved, like in everybody's jobs. I'm overlooking everything, but sometimes I gotta remember to like, okay, trust the process. They know what they're doing. But I like
I
that you
know.
said it's a back and forth, so that's good. Um, your music aims to rate for like positive and to create hope in the world, and I think that's a wonderful thing. How do you navigate like the positive outlook, like especially in this kind of challenging time, because the world is around us. There's a lot going on. I'm sure it can be, you know, very like depressing to look out there in the news. So I don't watch the news personally. I try my best like to keep that away from me in my circle. But um yeah, how do you um like overcome challenges and to keep pushing to be positive?
So for me, it's definitely like it was definitely a lot easier when I was younger because I'm generally a positive person.
Hmm.
And then as I've gotten older and I've gained more understanding about things, it's definitely become a little harder. And I'm also constantly busy. And so I'm constantly overwhelmed with like stress and everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the things that keeps me going is that like during like COVID and things like that, where I had nothing to do, I wasn't busy at all. That was way worse than being super, super busy and super overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that like I remind myself of all the time is there's always something worse that could be happening to me. There's
Mm,
always something worse that could be happening to somebody else. And so my goal is that hopefully through my positivity, I can help spread that positivity to other people who might not have such a positive outlook or might have a harder time having that positive outlook. And I also try to remember everything that I have because I was so blessed to be given a lot and so blessed to be given an opportunity to be able to speak out and help other people like kind of gear their minds towards positivity. And so it's kind of like all of the like the collection of those things that helps keep me going.
I love that. That's a great answer. Wonderful answer. A lot of people love, when I listen to this show and they like listen to the guests, a lot of people write and they always write me and say, we love this question. It's one of their favorite ones. And so I'm going to ask you this, and for those out there listening, whether they're young or old, and they have a goal and a dream, like to pursue music or to do something in the entertainment business, what advice would you give to them?
I feel like people hear this one a lot, but this is a big one for me. Just keep going because you never know what opportunities are going to cross your path. Like never did I ever think in a million years that a producer would hear me and be like, "Yep, we want to work with her." I never thought that that would happen in a million years. And so definitely the world works in mysterious ways. So keep going and keep like block out all of the noise that tells you that you can't do it because when you really like put your head down and do your best and work hard or determined, that all helps lead you towards your goal. And even if your goal isn't what you think it is, if you keep going and you keep driving towards a goal, you
Yeah.
might be towards another path and you might find that so much more like joyful. You might find more joy in it. You might find that, oh, this was actually my life calling and it's because you kept on the path that you were already on. So
Love that. That's wonderful, wonderful. So beyond, beautiful, do you have any upcoming projects or songs that, that maybe continue to explore self-esteem or positivity?
yes, so we are actually going to release some songs really soon. So I
Awesome.
actually have about 14 songs completed, and
Wow.
then I release them kind of in groups. And they do all center around a lot of the same messages, kind of like positivity, self-esteem, hope, all those things. So I'm super excited for those to be released.
Awesome. Hey, that's exciting. Congratulations on that. And seriously, the song is beautiful. Ironic, it's beautiful as well. But it's a great song. I wish you all the best and definitely come back for sure in the future. Oh, by the way, where can people find you on social media to follow everything you have going on?
Yeah, you can find me at I am Cindy B official. I have TikTok, Instagram, website, all the things. So
Yay, awesome. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you and definitely come back on in the future.
yes, I loved it so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you all for listening. And always remember to live, love, laugh. We'll see you guys next time.